Daily. Taste the Daily.
Holidays nale, adu namma GT Holidays da. South India's #1 travel brand.
Guys, today I have with me a very popular cinematographer who has an amazing body of work. He has worked with several prominent filmmakers from Sangeetam Srinivas Rao Garu to Karthik Subras to Shankar. I mean, these are the only names I'm saying, but he has worked with many people, and his filmography is full of gems. You take something like a Heram, there's Alavandan, there is Kanjivaram, like so many. I might not be able to name everyone because it's a huge list, but you get the idea about the kind of work he has done. And he has a release coming up in the form of Game Changer, directed by Mr. Shankar. So very glad to have Mr. Thiru. Sir, thank you so much for
Thank you for inviting me. I'm
no,
happy to be part of your.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So first of all, congratulations, 30 years.
Yeah.
94
Don't
Magalir
remind me,
Mattum.
no?
No, but
I'm starting now.
Great, but please allow me. You might not like it, but 30 years, sir. Lot has changed in 30 years.
Yeah.
Do you remember the day or the first day of shooting Magalir Mattum with Mr. the great Sangeetam Srinivas Rao, sir? What was that day, sir? What was that day like?
That time also we were trying. Actually, Kamal Haasan sir gave me the first film.
Yeah.
He called me and gave his own production film. So what Kamal sir and me is discussed how to shoot much more candid in film. See, that was this discussion that time. Regular lit up and over shoulder. All this, can we leave it and we'll go more of a handled steady cam and more fluid and no aesthetics which people were thinking that is right and it's a class. So can you break that? That's what is the first thought we discussed. And it's a small subject which is happening in a garment factory. So I lit up the garment factory with practical bulbs. I haven't used any typical cinema lights, which is used for regular celluloid work.
Mm.
That's the one change. So every time when you change, keep searching. I think 30 years, 60 years also not enough.
Mm.
Or 100 years also not enough.
Evolution.
Because evolution is keep happening and you reinventing, it is really a fun.
So what did you learn from your first step as a cinematographer on that film from Sangeetam, sir?
I didn't actually learn in the sense it is working with Sangeetam sir was the biggest learning. Then I learned something in cinematography. Because how he looks at emotion. Till that time, I'm a cinematographer. I know how, I've not become a cinematographer. I just assistant cinematographer. I'm handling first time a camera and I'm trying to shoot something, telling something. And what I'm doing, I'm going to tell a story. So that is more important than I'm being a cinematographer, because the purpose of cinematography is just narrate the story, tell the story in a better way. So it's a tool. So that I learned from Srinivas Rao sir, and he's so obsessed with his actions and how to capture emotion, all those things. Finally, that is what it drives the film, takes the film.
And when you listen to a script or when you read a screenplay, do you imagine, like, you get those visuals, right? How do you imagine, let's say, a Heram or a Kanjivaram when Mr. Priyadarshan or when the filmmakers are narrating you? How do you imagine those words? A lot of imagination has to come into the play, right?
Yeah, well, the story is basically the story. Something new is always it creates an interview. It makes you to emote and bring out with some new stuff. For example, Hey Ram was a script which I read, and I asked Kamal Hassan, who's doing cinematography? Why the script is no, the script is world class, but why me? I'm 2 films, 3 films old. Yeah, why you can't? He asked me. Then because I was so excited about the script, I forgot whether I am doing it or somebody else doing it, but he gives to me to read. That's what I thought. Then I thought then he told you are doing it, and how it's very difficult. He asked me that time. No, I'm not feeling it's difficult. It is in a controlled environment, and this is how we can pull it off. And it's written very well, and it's in a easy to execute. Its detailing is good. That's why I called you. So the confidence which so what gives the confidence, what gives the imagination is your writing. So I wanted to reinvent and how to go, because when a period means how to present, what colors will present. If you something in a natural color, it will look. Today we are telling something, so we have to make the audience to believe that it happened that time. But that time also it happened in new only. No, that time it's not at the world.
Yeah.
So I have to tell that time it's a new, but for recent people to watch, okay, it's a older stuff.
It's old.
It's a one critical
Tricky
one,
situation.
tricky thing. Usually, so what generally what I the thought which triggered me is okay, if you keep you peacock feathers, you will keep in a book. So if you keep it, you will lose all colors. It will become brown after years. So 40, 45 years, 50 years back, I kept something and I'm looking it back. It's fresh, but it lost its color. So that is the thought. Even if you keep a book will lose rest of the colors. Only the brown will, because brown is the only that red is the only color which stays longer in deterioration. So why can't we use a warmer tone throughout? So how to use it? Then there is I started that Kamal sir gave me a good freedom. So I started using flashing the film negative and make the colors little desat. And then I skip the positive in analog, because today is everything digital. You can push colors wherever you want. Those days it's analog and you can't do it because it's happening in a lab. So it was a difficult process, but I experimented and I skipped print and made that throat one warmer look, which is still fresh, but it is warm.
What does flashing the negative mean?
Negative has its own contrast. Okay, that gives the colors more saturated.
Okay.
So I don't want to my blue and greens to be too fresh,
popping out.
So that will become a regular things. So how to control that? So flash the negative with a blue light, kill that layer of emulsion, and then wash it out. That is how it works.
Basically toning down in terms of layman language.
Layman language, it's kind of you will get little muted colors. Then in the print, I increase whatever I lost in my negative. In print, I have to achieve contrast. So I have to skip the bleach. That I leave the silver on the print. So the print will become more little contrasty, and the colors won't be there. It will look contrast, but the colors will be less.
Oh, nice. And Mr. Kamal Hassan called you after the premiere and said, "This is very different. The colors are there, but the colors are not there."
Exactly.
That was exactly
that
what
is Shekhar Kapoor said that word. So he was too excited, and see, it's very new. It is completely new experience, and it is looking something very unique to see it. That's good. But new is always in cinema. It's a stronger.
Yeah. So, do you miss film, sir, and playing with film?
Not really. can't take it in that way. Film and that era, it gave us one big leverage, and that end part of film, it's really very quality and technically is well supported tool, but science you can't stop. The digital is nowhere. You can't compare digital and film. So film, if it gives some organic look, same organic look you can arrive in digital. That is our talent. But when the technical growth is there, you have to explore in that more than you thinking of the past.
But then we have somebody like a Christopher Nolan who keeps advocating for film. And every time a Nolan film comes out, all these film enthusiasts, they're like, wow, this is shot on film. He's bringing back the tradition.
We can't compare it's Nolan only. His
Yeah,
thought.
one of those.
But in India, that thought won't come. Why? We don't have a basic. We don't have a strong basic.
What do you mean by basic?
Strong basic in social and economical and knowledge and studies. Everything we don't have a strong
foundation.
We don't have. So we will tend to India. It's our mentality to tend to jump into what is new and excite about it, and we are not very contented. And that is biggest lacking because in the Indian the educational society, so many things it involves. We can't talk that it's a politics.
It's not one thing. Yeah,
one thing. So naturally, that contentness which gives you that. Maybe Nolan more contented than he excites, getting excited more.
Nice. And you spoke about this, right? One of the core things that one of the fundamentals when you started out in Magalir Mattu was that it has to be more candid. We have to avoid avoid using the regular elements that are used. And I'm assuming this is like a recurring theme, intention throughout your career, because in the industry there will be certain standards, right? Because it works, so every filmmaker or every cinematographer, they tend to adapt it because it is working. It worked in so and so film. The audience is comfortable with that visual. They like it. But has there been like a constant attempt to break that, to break the industry standards, to break the mold and create something new?
Yeah, that's what I said, the basics. If you're strong in basics, you can experiment new things and you won't carry out by that. You know where it communicates, where it does not communicates. The difference is very mere thing. So that gives you don't avoid inviting new things. Don't leave the basics of what is the theory of communication. That these two balances there. This process you can't stop. What you said, that growing and reinventing, it has to be there, because everything what we did is nothing. Maybe some other thing come tomorrow. AI comes, it will change a lot of things, a lot of our perspectives.
So can you say what are like the fundamentals? You said basics, right? What are like the core elements of those basics for a cinematographer to learn or to acquire?
You should have a basic science. So now you take a visual communication. What standard they are finishing and what is our educational standard in India. And what they will know in physics. And chemistry. And what is electronics. And those basics were what basics? Which you can't, basic maths is required in life. So those basics, if you're strong, then you don't need any specialized education.
Okay.
So you can learn everything. But those basics were very mere and we are not strong in that basics. Definitely, whatever you want to learn also, you have to go back and read the basics to understand this.
Specific to cinematography, you mean?
Everything, in
Ah.
everything. Cinematography, that's what happening. If visual communication, which teaches 6 months cinematography course, how is it possible to teach a cinematography? Cinematography may be very less. Around cinematography, psychology is there,
Okay.
physics is there, chemistry is there, so many things which is involved. If you know and you are good at all those, or if you know all this, then you will understand cinematography much easier.
Okay.
So we are not looking at in a broad spectrum. At 6 months, they can't teach. They will say, what are all the formulas? Well, like that. What is the lens? What is meaning lens? What is the meaning of sensor? This is the basic things which they will teach, and they will move on. And they are teaching in visual communication 3 years. They study television, press, and everything. One big vast area they were covering. It's an introduction for a person. Imagine introduction takes 3 years. If you want to
God, yeah.
know deeper and travel with it, you have to travel longer and you need a broader basics to understand.
Wow.
That's all. You don't need a cinematography. We don't have a proper cinematography courses in India.
Okay.
Like FTI Pune. So it's one of the promising institution. Chennai, there is an institution, but now I don't know it carries the standard or not. Government or the quality film education is must, because that technology and techniques, it's all driving you crazy. You need to know that the basics better and stronger, so you won't get carried away.
Perfect. You said something very interesting. Psychology in cinematography. Where
Of
does
course.
psychology fit in? I'm very curious.
So
to
if
know.
I want to convert one story into visual, so what kind of how the character will think. So I can emote, for example, in Alavandan, if you see why I put a green, he is in a hallucination. So he lost his, is that I want to bring the audience into that space. That psychology is involving in that. So understanding human behavior. So it's like that. It falls in every situation. You will get to know that when you trying to communicate a story, it has importance.
Nice, nice. So, what are your conversations with filmmakers like before starting a film? Like, do you like sit and discuss like these are the fundamentals, these are the do's and don'ts that we are going to follow in this film? Like, this is the approach that we are taking to transport the audience into the mind of the character. What are the elements that you cover when you are having that conversation with filmmaker before you start a film?
Actually, I love to sit with directors and make them read the uh, script
Lines,
lines. I want to understand first their mind, because I'm not writing the story. They were writing, or some writers were writing. Directors taken it, and he is going to execute the whole thing. So I want to know first what he is thinking. So then, in his path, if I can add any element, or I can improvise things, that I can do. So that is the first pace which I like. It used to happen with Karthik Subbaraj. I love to travel with him because I'll make him to read. I will 2 times, 3 times, and then I will ask why this you thought of this, why he is like this, why he behaves like this. So how to that intensity, how this your writing has so much of intensity in that. So how will I contribute? So I'll think in that way. So I'll make him read and we'll discuss. That journey is really interesting thing to do.
And I think a couple of years ago, you said that we don't follow a proper pre-production phase.
Mhm.
If we get to do proper pre-production, a lot of things can be reduced. Like for instance, again, I'm not comparing. Even the biggest of the Hollywood films are shot within 60 to 72, max 80 days. But because we lack the pre-production, we tend to go beyond 100, 150, even 200. Do you think that is changing now, sir? At least the way we operate?
It should change. Actually, India's traveling towards that with the practice of shooting longer days because of lack of understanding about filmmaking. Filmmaking itself is a science. I'm not talking about the film, how you presenting the film.
Right.
Making has the process has it that itself. It is internally. It's a science. It's keep evolving. So you have to keep changing it, and how quick you can achieve something, how precise you can achieve something is it's not easy. Why few directors were doing precise what they want, what is in the paper, how it comes exactly. Somebody is not achieving it. It's because there is a science in it. There is that we are a little far away from. That's why I said education, film education is more important to travel the tomorrow's films and the why insurance is not part of an Indian cinema because they don't believe our practice because we trial and error we are working. So nothing economically and making also. So that belief that all those things which is if it comes it will change definitely. So that is important. Pre-production is important as you said that is it involves doctoring the script and then bringing into one position, then bringing the director inside the director's vision how to execute. That execution parts it involves many other people also, and all these other people has to travel in one direction. That director has to guide and get in and get the extract from them also. So the creative process which take a full stop on a pre-production. So your creative process should not happen on a floor.
Exactly.
So that for that that is why again I'm going back. Our social system is wrong. We are studying to become a doctor or engineer and to work somewhere and as a computer engineer, but we don't have a study to imagine. So imagination is on study. So that we are lacking in Indian social system. We are lacking it when it goes to a really unprofitable or this educational system goes to an unprofitable one. Government based something, then the whole society will change. So that's why we are not able to compete with. We are capable, but we are not able to compete with because we lack of discipline.
I see a bit of angst in you when it comes to this. Little bit.
Naturally, when you go through those struggles, anybody will get it.
And you even said something very interesting in one of your previous interviews. You said, we are not innovative, we are workers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
same
that's
thing. That's the same
we are
thing
using international products, but we are not creating anything.
Exactly.
Somebody like a James Cameron is inventing
There is the
technology.
invention is missing in our filmmaking. See, everywhere the invention is important. That invention is not happening. That is why, that's what basically imagination is lacking to us. We are in a process only. We are not imagining something which is beyond. We used to be in ancient stories, which epics and all. If you see how they imagined that, the science. What is science? Science is imagination. It takes you to another step. Why apple falls from that question and imagination which brings you out.
We are speaking of imagination now, and there is this practice of lookbook, right? A lot of young cinematographers, when I interact with them, cinematographers or directors, they say that they follow a lookbook. Now I don't know if someone who's been in the industry for long, I don't know whether you follow that, because again, once again, if you talk about a lookbook, it is like a reference. How is our scene going to look like? So our scene is going to look like this scene from that film. How is this scene going to look like? It is going to look like that scene from that film. So in one way, there are two ways to look at it. One way is that, okay, it is like a reference for the entire team so that it's easily communicated. Instead of going and telling each person, you show a reference, everybody gets what they have to achieve. The other way to look at it is lack of creating something original or imagination. How
Why
do
you are
you
using
look
the
at
word creating something for that? This is not creating.
That's what I'm saying. The lack of
That is, you
lack of
yourself you
creating.
said one is creating, one is referring. So when you start referring, you tend to go into that. You are not imagining yourself.
Exactly.
So that is that reference is, you have to create one reference. That means what? Why people are doing concept art? What you are imagining through somebody, you are trying to get that output, how it will look.
Yeah.
So that is right. Then to compare, but today is the fast world, and that's what we are. We are in a process. We just want to show it to someone, make them understand. So you go and pick up clip reels from that film, one driving shot, from this film, one car dashing, from another film, one jump. So you put together that this is how I wanted. We are making clip reels to show, understand people, because its process become fast. But that pace, we need a bigger space to imagine and travel for a creator. You are a director or a writer, you need a longer space, and we need more writers in the thing. So that's where, when the lacking of imagination, the writers will come down. We won't respect writers also. One way.
So you never thought of directing, sir?
No, direction is again one big responsibility, big job. For that, you have to give a respected time, but I'm not able to give it, and so I'm traveling.
And you come across as a person who obviously thinks a lot about society. You keep whatever your care and concern for education, the society, and how that structure is influencing our work and system. It keeps it reflecting in what you say. You never thought of writing something also? Because you seem to be a thinker, that's why.
But you need really a journey for it. So
you have 30 years of experiences, life
experiencing
experience. You must have met
throughout,
so
I'm
many-
traveling. That's what we are just practicing. We are running. We keep, our journeys keep going with this. We are not, maybe we are not contented. But that again, I'm coming back the thing. I'm not able to keep, okay, 3 years, I'm not doing any film. And I just leave it writing. I want to travel and just observe things, and I relearn myself. I don't have time to do that. Then how will I write? See, that is the more important. That we have to be content. And in Indian, again, it comes to the society.
Yeah.
In our see, everything comes there. Then why can't we talk about that?
Yeah.
That's
So basically, you feel that even you have fell into that flow and going in that flow.
Exactly.
How do you ensure that work doesn't become mechanical for you? Because you are going
Because
to set again and again.
I'm reinventing. That's why it keeps you going.
Okay. What does this reinvention exactly mean to
Thinking
you? Like
something
new technology or
sometimes it will become monotonous and it will give you boredom. For example, when I did, I supposed to do Robo 1 with Shankar sir, and I couldn't do because that time the film got pushed a little, and I did another film, so I'm not able to manage to do it. And that time I thought of, okay, how the Robo actually has a life. Today, if you imagine AI as one the neuro system which understand the visual, and it takes the visual and somebody understands the visual, and which has a different spectral ratio in living condition, visible spectrum, non-visible spectrum. Okay, if it sees a non-visible spectrum, how it will look, how dog sees, we don't know.
We don't know, yeah.
So I was thinking that, okay, we can shoot an infrared. I just thought of it on thing. Then I didn't do the film, I forgot about it, and then I tried in 24 movie, I bought a camera and I changed the sensor and I tried. Rahman sir was very kicked off. Okay, I know that, I know, I heard about this. Immediately he bought a camera.
Oh.
He's too enthused about it. Then we tried it and that film we couldn't do. Now Shankar sir asked, okay, it's a right time. Again, Shankar sir, we tried one. It's actually internationally first time we are shooting infrared mainstream commercial song.
Okay, nice.
And in Dune 2, in the Colosseum fight, the first fight, they tried infrared, but they went to a spectral range in a black and white array. It will look black and whitish. But the way we mixed the infrared and visible spectrum, we tend to get one attractive colors, what human eye can't see.
So, for the layman, can you explain what exactly is visible spectrum and what exactly the spectrum that infrared catches?
Whatever you can't see is invisible spectrum, which is going beyond our visible spectrum.
What the eye has.
509 nanometer. Above that, whatever is there is all invisible spectrums, which is available here also, but we are not able to experience it.
Okay.
So if you make the camera sensitive to a invisible spectrum and arrest your visible spectrum exposing your sensor, then automatically you will tend to get some new visual. So for example, the God has made the plant green. So it is the main reason for the plant is being green is to tend to reflect back the infrared, absorb the infrared. It should not affect the plant because the sunlight has a lot of because it's deflecting the infrared lot. In infrared photography, the greens will look fabulous. So it will give you completely different skin will diffract differently. Your clothing will it all what you are seeing visible spectrum, what it reacts, it will react differently. So we tried that and we got some good visuals.
No, the visuals that we saw, they look fabulous.
Yeah.
The ones that are out. So where exactly did you get that infrared camera from? And the operation is it different to a normal camera?
Exactly. This is a different operation. We have to change the sensor. So sensor, in front of sensor, there are many layers and things technically which is involved to convert that camera into a infrared sensitive sensor. Then we have to choose according to our taste, what you want, what look you want. You can keep on changing it by using different infrared filters.
Okay. So how do you ensure that there is an actor, but his skin texture, it has to remain natural, but the other things it needs to capture? So
why the skin texture has to remain natural?
Natural in the sense, okay, from the shot
not necessary, no. So the song is completely imaginary.
Okay.
So change the skin texture, change the presence, change the thing. We can achieve skin texture also. We can go beyond that also.
So my thing was, we know how a Ram Charan and Kiara Advani look, but we might not know how the reference, that image, that location looks like. So if you play with the location as audience, if it is different, we might not question. But if a Ram Charan or Kiara Advani, if their faces are looking different, we'll point out, we'll understand the difference, no? So that is why I asked this.
So that is one interesting thing, no? How long you will see the same face, the full screen you will see you will present them newly. So what is the wrong in it?
Yeah,
As
different
long
is.
as it's pleasing,
Hmm.
it's right.
Okay. Okay. So you did try that. It's okay if the texture is not
We
in
tried
aesthetic.
some of the shots with that
Oh,
also.
nice,
It is
nice,
there in
nice.
a
In the
song.
song. Okay, I didn't see that. That's why I had this
Those things
question
which are not
revealed yet.
revealed
Oh,
yet.
nice. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
And it's very nice when you shoot those kind of infrared. Is in India, it's very strong. The sunlight carries a lot of infrared in the
Hmm.
Mediterranean thing. And if you go New Zealand kind of a place and the climate is bad, sometime you will lose. Like that, we had a difficulty, but still
Okay.
we managed
I
to
like how
do.
you are like, I'll break the fundamentals. Like, why should the face look like that? You're okay to breaking the
Yeah,
fundamentals. I
you have
find
to
it very
break, but
cool.
you have to be convince the audience also. No,
Ah,
it's a kind of a thin line which you should not lose it.
nice. So, what were the conversations with Shankar sir like before starting Game Changer? And I'm assuming it's a long journey.
Yeah,
Film
it
started
became a long
in,
journey, and
yeah.
it's very unfortunate COVID and other issues.
Hmm.
It's quite. He is very detailing director, so it helps cinematographers uh, better. Whoever do a homework more, it helps the uh, product will come better, and the people also easier.
and and it has been a long journey, like almost 3 years you guys were shooting for on and off, on and off. How did you maintain the consistency? I'm assuming you will have a set built or something. You might shoot one day and you might go there, say
No,
a few
no,
weeks
Game
later or
Changer
months
is
later.
not everything is not on set. Songs
Hmm.
were in set, and the rest all different places. It's very difficult only
Hmm.
if you're losing time in the middle. It's
Hmm.
very difficult. You have to manage.
How did you, like, technically, what were the
It's
challenges like?
challenges is nothing. You should be focus on it.
Hmm.
That is thing. Otherwise. In between, I shot another film also.
Jigar double
Jagardanda
X, right?
Double X I
Yeah.
happened. It happens, but it is easy to do it when it's a practice actually.
Like, what are the factors that you have to keep in mind, sir, in order to recreate a shot that you must have shot few months ago, and you're going back to it? How do you
You
recreate or continue that
if you see what you only doing it, no.
first time
So,
also?
so naturally you will remember and you will know what is the tones which maintained and all those things. And in our films, which what you the color palettes which you are talking, and these are all we are not in 100%. We are not jumping into it. We are taking it advantage and leaving it aside, and we are moving forward on other direction. So I don't think it's a very difficult.
Big major
Yeah, major.
issue. Did you enjoy shooting those songs? Because
Yeah,
Mr.
I enjoy shooting the songs. I enjoyed shooting Game Changer because it's something new in the subject, which is very unique. What is bureaucracy and power, and it's the first time somebody is talking on that content. It's new, so the new always it will work.
Can you tell us about shooting those songs? Because Mr. Shankar obviously has done some great drama work. His obvious. I really like the
He's good at
Indian. Yeah,
imagining, picturizing um, songs. He's good at that, and he's popular for that.
he's
And
become popular for that. Even though his drama is great,
yeah.
somehow people, when they say Shankar, big set, but he
Naturally,
has done
they'll
more
think
than
of the
that.
songs will come in
Yeah.
good songs, good visuals. Uh, that's also giving a new experience to the audience. You know that what is new, the experience is always keeps you hooked in the film. In this, all the songs is challenging. Actually, one song which we did, you might have seen that DoP song, which is I brought some. A lot of LEDs, which is I combined, we computerized, programmed it to create its own set. That actually that is arriving to India that time.
Okay.
So we acquired that and we created the whole set with digital LEDs, and then we programmed such a way so according to song it moves and creates a pattern. Those things that we tried in that. There's one is the infrared we tried. Other one is beautiful melody, which is in a flashback, which is he tried visual extravagance. He tried
Lovely.
each one he want to try something.
And in Jaragandi, you had tried something with
That
dimensions.
is a crazy one world we created. So everything has its own unique.
So there's a lot of coordination between you and the production designer also, because the colors, all of them have to be.
Of course, production designer. Everything should come from come in one part. No, so everybody's involvement is very important.
Nice. How many days you must have shot Game Changer for?
Game Changer, we might have shot 180, 190
Wow,
around.
That's actually a lot, but looking forward to the film.
For our Indian condition, it's right. What you said, Hollywood films are shooting 60 days, 70 days, because they don't have our kind of a mass fights, mass songs thing. It's a storytelling, and those difficulties and the kind of pre-planning, they able to crack it in very short period of shooting time. That is really amazing.
So, like, do you have like once again might be a very broad question, but an average number of shots per day?
It depends on what kind of a scene we are shooting.
Let's say a conversational drama. Let's forget fights and all. If it's a normal scene,
maybe fights we will shoot more
shots.
Because it's more shots, because it's only a action oriented thing. There, and all the shots, the emotion won't involve. Here, emotional proper one drama, it depends on what kind of a scene we are shooting. It depends on 25 to 30, sometime lesser also. It varies. Directors to directors, it varies, and how precise you are looking at the product, how you are looking at your, each one has their own making style. So you can't compare, or you can't understand, okay, this is what the standard. It's not that.
And that is one of the coolest and also a bit tricky things for a cinematographer is you have to tune yourself to different working styles of different filmmakers every time you move from one project to the other. Like, I'm assuming
that's a big challenge.
How do you approach that? You went from Mr. Shankar to Karthik Subraj and then came back to Shankar, and now you have gone to A.R. Murugadas. So it's like you tuning to 2 to 3 filmmakers in a time.
It is kind of, when the first time when you're working, it will be a bit difficult only. You have to understand their naturally in so much of experience, you will understand very easily, okay, this is what their approach. So it is easy to follow that. It's not very difficult.
Okay. So Mr. Shankar explains everything.
Yeah, he is everything 200%. He will work one full round research he will do, and will complete without confusion. He will come to set. He'll design his shots and comes.
Nice. Sir, and one of the things I really liked in Game Changer is, I like how the film looks real. Like, we have been seeing some films. This is my personal opinion, I'm not a fan of green screen and all. Like, if we are starting to use green screen for normal skies, because obviously our stars are very big, you can't shoot with them in real locations. So there is this attempt to recreate natural locations inside a studio, and somehow we are still not there yet where it doesn't look seamless.
Your conversation brings you to, you're a bit contented actually. You like all those older stuff and things, and good. Your interview also shows many of other works, but it's not that. See, if you want to create one new world and make people believe that you are existing there, you have to something present new. For recent example, if you take Kalki, take Koratala Swasar's this recent film.
Which one?
Devara.
Koratala Swasar. Devara.
So you want to create something.
Yeah.
You have to tend into KGF or something, or you have to give that different tonal existence. From the existence, you have to move on to another world. Then you tend to make believe audience to believe that you have to creating. That's nothing wrong actually.
Yeah.
And I did it in 24 also. 24, I wanted it to warm, and that watchmaker, his dent, how it should look really believable. So I created the little surreal feel. The surreal approach has to be as required. The Game Changer is a social film. So I can't go and experiment in...
Exactly.
It's not experiment. I can't approach in a different way in that. So I have to make them attach on a real world thing. So I presented very clean. In that, how much you get excited, wow factor. Those wow factors we tried.
That is what I wanted to know. From the teaser, it looks real. Like I don't see any green screen work. I understand, because something like a Devara or Kalki, they are creating a different world. Game Changer is set in a real world, so you have to keep it real only. In reality, how do you create that wow factor or that astonishing feel, like wow, this is cinematic? That is what I wanted to know. How did you approach that?
See, that is comes from how what you said before, the color palettes, the color, the what for example, when it comes from a production designer also. So if you want to make, if you take a Janata Garage one sequence, that GHM's
GHMC office, the big files, background and all.
You remember that? No?
I remember that. Yeah.
Why you remember that? Because it's a larger than life. That bureaus, what do you call
and
that?
They keep moving every time they fight. I remember that.
So that larger than life, you are exaggerating the real life thing little more with wow factor, but without affecting the reality. So that is where, if you increase that height and it look massive, it looks still office, but no, this is something special. That's special, new, which comes in. That's that we played in trying to according to the budget and your feasibility of shooting, the place, location availability, all difficulties is there. Among that, we can able to achieve something. What we have to achieve,
like in Game Changer, is that the approach? Real but exaggerated. Wow, okay. And that has to go with in hand with the production designer also.
Production designer and director also.
So what would you say, like obviously we haven't seen the film, like do you have like your personal favorites? Like you said, that GHMC sequence, are there any sequences in Game Changer that will make us go, oh wow, there
are a lot of sequence.
Nice.
A lot of sequence.
Like the action ones or like the drama ones?
No, drama ones, action ones, everything. It is there because already Shankar sir is little larger than thing. He will think
larger than
life. So that it involves in every aspect of thing. So it will give you a different experience, and the story also it's a different, new. It's not out of the world, but it is within your social system. Wow, there is a new approach. That factor is there. So I really liked it.
Nice. Which one do you like? Not like a preference or something. I'm assuming the approach to something, creating a different world, like something like a 24, which according to me, it almost like it happens in a timeless space only. It doesn't necessarily have to be Chennai in 2016 or anything. That story will work anytime, anywhere. Not something like a Janata Garage or Bharatan, or Game Changer, which has to be set in real time. It has to reflect our times. 24 doesn't have to do that. Time, it can be in a timeless space. Which one do you like enjoy the most? Creating these worlds?
I really enjoy both the process, but the more fun is in fantasizing the visuals. So that will be in something unique story, like Dunes, something which makes you excite and you can experiment new things.
More freedom to play around. I'm saying you must have had a lot of fun with XXL, no sir?
Yeah, we enjoyed. We shot it in a very less dates. I think 80 days or something. We finished the film. Between Game Changer, I able to pull it off. But it's fun, all young minds, and it is it's always fun to experiment and
No, in the second of all those forest sequences, they look fabulous. Like there is that larger than life quality to it. There is that western
very,
feel
very,
to it.
very, very lesser time we shot.
It's unimaginable. Like when you say
It
80
doesn't have a
days.
big budget also.
And Karthik Subraj is always a very playful filmmaker, right? The way he
Yeah,
uses camera movement.
that's
There is
fun.
some
That's
work to it.
Yeah, you can little experiment things, and you can throw coins across. So
So what is the thing you have worked? Obviously, you have worked with Mr. Sangeetam Srinivasa Rao sir. You have worked with obviously Mr. Kamal Hassan. You have
actually,
worked
that's a
with,
fun. My career beginning, I
y-
worked with all experienced people.
Yeah.
Bharathan, director Bharathan from Malayalam.
Bharathan.
So I worked with all of them, and the later it's more actually I thought I lost my youngsters gang. Now I'm enjoying much better with working with youngsters because you'll have freedom to experiment and thing. It's I actually
It's
work.
also fun. No, hey, I have 30 years. Now, I'm sure you must not be like saying that I'm the senior, but that vibe
No,
will be cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's cool. So, what is the difference that you have noticed in the approach of, let's say, not exactly, I'm not talking about Mr. Shankar or Karthik Subraj, let's say a filmmaker with 30 years of experience or 20 years of experience, uh, opposed to a young filmmaker who's fresh and who's still just starting to explore the medium. What is the difference that you have approached?
You're thinking I'm going to tell something to them. I'm
No.
going to learn from them.
Ah.
So they are all much intelligent now. They have a lot of tools and a lot of things. Those days you have to refer a book. Now you have to everything in your hand. But what is going that AI takes now, where the filmmaking goes, it's if you look at another 7 years, 10 years, it's really crazy. And AI took our neuro part also now. That the neural thinking process started come to AI. So till now we made the computer to work for us, make our work faster. But now it went on a next stage where the AI thinks for us. That's a dangerous part. So the AI doesn't have a logical thinking. So you can if you say one round, for you round is a round. How to make a round? If you said any equally curved any object and put it together, you will make a round. But AI might ask something which is from straight one line itself. It will make it will look alternative way. If you look at a huge round, from the huge round, if you take one part, it will look straight only for us. For us, it's a straight. But AI, it is not straight. So it will interpolate the ideas inside, and how it interpolates, we don't know. Because our brain, which stops there, because our brain which logically thinks. So there is a major breakthrough who's going to happen, and that is the bit. It's not a scary, but it is how we are going to handle it. Is the
how do you think AI is going to complement cinematography?
Lot it will make simplify the process for color. For example, color grading, it comes to understanding in AI better. It understands the visual itself. It understands what is it, the material, what is it, whether it's a building or a human being or hair and anything. So you can apply your colors in a different way, and it automatically it grades and tells you. You don't need to go and doing this process of long color grading and bringing into one level of visual feel. It might do faster. And you don't need to do the whole process. Don't think that will guide us and will give us another multiplication. It will say the result. It will put together things and it will say there is another option also you want to see. So the thinking process will change.
It will
So
make
the human brain has to evolve now, as faster as. But what we are lacking the imagination again. So the imagination is the one thing which still where the human holds very unique.
upper hand above
Okay,
AI.
imagine putting together and manipulating, that will do, that machine will do, that will easily come, because it understands the nervous system, our exactly it works our nervous system. So this imagination, which is one thing which we are going back to actually basics again. The basics we are
Basics.
going to become stronger in future, I'm telling.
Right. So how do you say have we develop our imagination?
I think if you have a good study,
Again, studies.
it will give good social life, good parenting. You will get your you travel, so many things. Which that's all. The good life, it gives you everything.
So studies leads to
Studies in the sense
imagination.
not only the book study. It's study
Experiences.
Experience,
Life experiences
Life
basically. So life experiences will lead to imagination, and imagination will lead to better filmmaking. That's it. This is the order. Imagination
Observation,
is the base.
observation.
Observation.
All this comes in education. In the education, this is not only the book. With education, even your observation makes you. So maybe in future, for imagination, separate one course will come. How to imagine.
Would you suggest some books, sir? Books on cinematography or filmmaking? Do you think that will help people?
I did a lot of books. Now, if you just Google, type it. Those days, I have to go and sit with the British Council and American Council. Now, there are any number of tutors and books, videos. I'm learning a lot of things.
Really, what are you learning about?
I'm learning about that YouTube. There are a lot of channels which taking a thing. So it's like a refreshing for you to go back and look at it. What is the aspect ratio? What is golden ratio? What is some new things which it's nothing else. You will tend to forget things when you keep traveling and you get. So when you go back and see all back again the theory, understand the nature has all creativity. We don't have that.
You started as a nature.
Yeah, I was a botany student.
So nice. It all comes from there. Now I can understand.
Yeah, maybe.
So what? 2-3 questions, sir. Almost done. Can you recommend some what do you call? Not exactly books. If you can refer to some films.
Exactly. If you ask, I'm. It's difficult for me. I will definitely. I'll
message you. I'll put it in the description then. And one thing I wanted to cover about Game Changer is that when I see the teaser, it looks very obviously real. That's the word I use. And obviously there are a lot of scenes where there's crowd, hundreds and hundreds of people, right? So how did you manage that? If I looked at Ramacha Machara, that lyrical video, so obviously you have those 200 junior artists, you have those 200-300 dancers, you have to show them also. Then there is hero, you have to show him also. So how do you manage
the see the crowd, getting the crowd and utilize the crowd and the thing? It is obviously falls in a short division now. And then when on a scene, in a sequence, many scenes were happening. On one sequence, one small, the hero walks from there and comes and so hero walking is how important to show and walking and how to show, whether we'll show it bigger, because we have a people and we have a production and it is the real which the exciting part, that wow factor. So use that as a wow factor. So like that, director will have his own idea. These scenes I will shoot like this, This part I wanted to show the emotion of the actor, so that we will go closer. It's all comes in a short division thing. It's simply,
It's not that.
it's
but
not that difficult.
the scale and all must be very difficult, no?
The
To
scale is
handle.
difficult, definitely difficult to manage and shoot that kind of a crowd, and it's a difficult part.
How many people are there in your team, sir?
With me,
Yeah.
7-8 people were there. Each one they will handle one. Somebody will travel with camera and technical things in camera. Somebody will handle the lighting and the gaffer and the like that. Each one they'll do it. Somebody look at only focus. Somebody look at only the people alignment, how the people whether they get coordinated properly or not. All these things. That as I said, that secondary part in cinema has to grow more. For example, internationally, you said the people are shooting faster and much professional, much less with less people. So ours more days and more people also. A lot of crowd in a working thing. So it's a kind of a chaos that will when you specify jobs like gaffer and grip and their efficient. Though for those people, the education is there for a gaffer and for a group guy. All these are all the team which involves with the cinematographer, makes things work for cinematographer. If a cinematographer wants a light like this, and gaffer will think, okay, I can practically, he will think, I will imagine something, but he will practically think, I can put it like this, I can do this, I can do that. Those things, those part of secondary things also should have it should be part of film education. So if those things, those people will become more efficient, maybe that working days we can reduce.
Super. But we still do have these roles, right?
We have a roles, but whether we are justifying for that role,
utilizing them properly or not.
Justifying to that, even we have, that's the word we exactly we have to use for everyone. And I think that is the literally, are you efficient enough? Justifying your job is more important thing. Maybe for that we'll need little more education and understanding on how to involve with the cinematographer and work faster. How to get it's also a education and part. They should know, understand. Like a cinematographer, gaffer is more or less a cinematographer. He should understand. What I am imagining, he has to understand. How director imagining, I have to grab thing. No, like that. What I am trying to get it, he has to. So that means he is to equally like. So that's also one different department actually.
But so tell me something honestly, sir. Does the chaos on a film set, does it anger you?
It makes you, but we are also human, no? But we'll settle down. You'll get tuned to it.
But are you an angry person on a film set? Immune to it. Are you an angry person on a film set?
It depends on who looking at me.
Nice. Because I really like the fact that you're not just talking about your work, but you are saying that if we correct these fundamentals, the whole ecosystem will, filmmaking will become better.
Much better films.
Yeah.
We are capable, and we are doing so many good films. Like I said in my older interview that this place will become a hub.
Telugu,
actually.
Yeah. What did you see in Telugu film industry back then?
There was a spirit, there was an interest, there was a genuine involvement and interest. They wanted to do something new. So there are producers, they were trying to do something, and the people literally celebrating the film. So everything, the environment is right. That's it.
Super. And you're working, obviously you're working in Sikandar. You have worked across languages, right? So do you see the spirit now in other industries also?
It varies. It varies. one way. It depends on the business which you are making. Now it's good that we are breaking the business barrier. That is one way good. There's big filmmakers like Rajamouli sir, Shankar sir, and those people taken the film Maniratnam. They all taken the film out of this boundary. For example, Kalki, which took the so when a good economics comes in, a producer able to spend better and get a better product out.
Super. We have Sikandar coming up, right, sir? So
Sikandar
what stage is it in?
We are going to another 1 month of work is there.
Okay.
I think it's a very quick project for Salman Khan. So Eid, it's getting released.
I mean, it's cool.
Murugadas is a kind of a very very strong in emotion. I think this film will be
nice.
Good.
And it's cool that this film it got finished quickly, no?
Actually, Sikandar is finishing quickly. In another 1 month, February, I have to out of the floor mid. So it's a very short time for my post production.
Okay, so that's going to be another. So why do you think what is the role of a cinematographer in post production? Like obviously, I know that cinematographers work on DA and color grading, but what exactly? How much is a cinematographer involved in post production as opposed to a director? How are the roles split?
Cinematographer is a basic. He's in charge of visuals, no. So whatever visually comes, I'm not going to go and change the dialogue, but I will change the visual. This is not looking right. This is not the way. Maybe sometime director also in a VFX they will do a mistake. They will see it in a different perspective. Okay, it will look right. They will think, but in a visual putting together for 10 visuals, that one visual which has been generated may not look perfect for me to match it. That cinematographer's involvement. So they will see and they will tell, and the colors, the coordinate the color. The storytelling should not get disturbed. When you see a undisturbed colors is there, but it is giving you one smooth travel. So that I have to make ensure. So many things which technical output. There are so many system now, so many deliverables now. Dolby, 4DX, Xbar, so many things were there. So everything, the format changes. Those supervision and what format you are getting your content, converting your content, those also ensures the quality.
So based on the format, does your customization does that change? Let's say if you're giving something to Dolby
if I want to
give
it to Dolby, I need a 16:9 ratio, aspect ratio, it's different. So for that aspect ratio, if we are not shooting, our shooting environment is not allowing us to take that freedom. So then how to adopt that whatever we shot in our aspect ratio, convert that into a Dolby is one process.
You do that by cropping or?
Little bit cropping is there and enlarging is there. A lot of things which involve. But it's better to shoot it in a proper 16:9. It will help. You don't. Still, the cropping is there. Where the Dolby, if you shoot only 65mm and broader formats only, you can without cropping it will go.
Nice. What are all the deliverables? Not exactly deliverables, but what are the formats that Game Changer is using?
Now Dolby is releasing for 4DX is releasing, and another one more black box or something. One that and one more 3, 4, 5.
Nice. So Dolby is where full screen, 16:9.
Yeah, 16:9. That is standard. No, you can't change it, but we have to adapt our film into that.
For 4DX, visuals won't change, no, sir?
Visuals won't change, but you have to give that before with the sound. They will make the sound process, and then it will then the deliverable will go. Maybe that is when department we also involve in all deliverables because it's the standard, all those things.
How much time? What is an ideal time for cinematographer for post production? What's an optimal time?
We need for one film, it needs nearly 2 months of
2 months.
time to grade the film nicely. It's very unfortunate we'll get things
At the last moment.
The last moment.
Okay, let's hope that changes in the future.
It will change.
Done. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
for
much.
your
I
time.
love this whole conversation.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for opening up and sharing everything. I genuinely thought this conversation would go in one way. I thought we'll talk about technology, all those things. That was there, but more than that, what really made me think is how your emphasis on education and basics. That is what my takeaway is from the
I think
whole
I
interview.
emphasize too much on that. We would have talked about more technology.
No,
I think
no,
we will
sir.
keep that as a next conversation.
Next conversation,
Great.
post release or during Sikandar.
Super.
Thank you so much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Taste Daily. Taste the Daily.
Holidays nale, adu namma GT Holidays da. South India's #1 travel brand.